The hate watch was not successful. The hate watch was not successful. Real Madrid, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝑼𝙇𝙎 could not do it. The juju was not enough. The incantations, the spells, the sacrifices, the wire transfer, they didn't go through. Real Madrid 1, Woolwich Arsenal Football Club 2. And Arsenal beat Real Madrid 5-1 on aggregate. I can't even believe I'm saying that. And obviously going into this game, obviously want Real Madrid to go and win. But now, okay, obviously I still have my Madrid agenda. But guys, 5-1 against Arsenal. 5-1 against Mickey Mouse FC. 5-1 against Banter FC. Guys, you're not serious. Y'all are not serious. 5-1 is crazy. Losing home and away. It's not like, I thought at least, removing the bias and being as objective as possible, I thought at least Madrid was going to go and win the game today. Maybe not enough by like 3 goals to extend, but win like a 2-1 or a 3-1. Not necessarily do enough to go through, but at least win the game. But not losing home and away. Poor nigga. So in 4 games against Arsenal, 4 defeats. No, 3 defeats and a draw, guys. And 2 of them were at home. Wow. There you go. Wow. I don't know where to begin. And Arsenal played as I would have expected, as a lot of Arsenal fans went and go on to say. It was extremely, oh my God, defensive, disastrous. Park the bus, park the plane, park everything in the goal, and just defensive. No one was going forward. They didn't really do much going forward, even though they probably on the day still did have more shots on target and everything, but really did not try to do anything. I mean, the game ends. I've got the stats here: 66% possession for Real Madrid, 34% for Arsenal. But Arsenal have an XG of 2.05 to Real Madrid's 1.50. Now, obviously, with Arsenal, you have to remember that, they had a penalty that they went and got, and we'll address the penalties, etc., so on and so forth later, because we got a lot to talk about today. But yeah, even with that, in fairness, Arsenal played well. They executed their game plan well. They didn't, in fairness, even though I go and say it's disgusting, go and play football, whatnot, it's also, wise to go and you got a 3-0 lead. Real Madrid need to come at you and score. You're good defensively. You're not gonna go and try to play them at their game and try to go in a shootout. So it was wise from Arsenal, and they executed their game plan well, and probably got even more than they were probably expecting. I'm not sure if you asked many of those Arsenal players out there, are you going to go and win away at the Bernabeu? If they're going to 100%, we're going to go and do so. I don't think so. But yeah, going from the Madrid perspective, it's just not enough. Really, just not enough. 18 shots. 3 on target only, 1 big chance. And I think that 1 big chance was that Vinny chance. That was, it was just a gift basically from Arsenal. Lapse in concentration from William Saliba. And then Vinny goes and scores. And in fairness, it was a good reaction to equalize from the Bukayo Saka goal. But apart from that, nothing. They kept on mentioning it in the commentary on TNT that all Real Madrid were doing is crossing the ball, crosses. I want to see if I can see how many crosses were actually made in the game. Because is there a stat here? Cross. No. I wish I could, because all they were doing is whipping in crosses into accurate crosses. There you go. 7 in total. So 16%. So I'm assuming there was more, but 7 crosses in total to who? You've got Mbappe, who's not great in the air. Bellingham, okay, not crazy. Vinny and Rodrigo, who aren't the tallest people to begin with. If you did that with a Joselu, fair. If you did that with even a Benzema, fair. But with Mbappe, it just doesn't suit them. And the thing is, though, for all the star power that Real Madrid have going up front, they really, really, really lack ideas. Really are in lack of ideas. If you can sort of prevent them from sort of doing their little 1-2s and whatnot, and on the fast break, they really don't have all that much to offer. And that's the honest truth. And the more and more I kept on going and saying, I said, I think in my previous reaction video, is that this has to be one of the worst constructed teams, Real Madrid teams ever honestly. Because I remember, again, as I said, the discussion going into the summer, we were talking about how football's done for 10 years. Look at Real Madrid. Look at all the players they got. Vinny, Mbappe, the best player in the world, coming to them. Jude, who was excellent last season. Rodrigo as well, still there. Endrick getting a young Brazilian star. All this stuff, all the hype, etc., so on and so forth. And now look, we're out of the quarterfinals. I think for the first time, Real Madrid get knocked out, or this early since probably 2019 when they lost to Ajax. Which, okay, fair enough to Madrid. That's still pretty impressive, but I mean, for the year where probably most people probably would have said that they probably had a better team, or you would have thought that their team was better this season than last season, yet they're playing much, much worse football than they were last season. Even though last season, okay, it was a lot of, even though Madrid doesn't really have necessarily a play style per se, there's sort of a cohesion and a structure in the chaos in how they go and do things. And this year, it's all gone. It's all gone. I've said it before. You can't play the four together. You can't play Vinny, Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Bellingham. In fact, I'm not even going to say the front four, because it's really, you can't play Vinny and Mbappe together. It just does not work. They do not gel. They take the same space. They step on their toes. It is not a compatible match. It just does not work. And it reminds me, that front three, as I was saying again with PSG, those two, the M&M era PSG and this current Real Madrid team, like mirror each other almost perfectly. You think, defensively, not the best, not crazy, having to make a lot of, last minute things defensively. At times we were playing Danilo, at times we were playing 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝐼𝙎𝑑, etc., so on and so forth. Attacking was obviously, you got the three, the three musketeers, basically, the trois fantastiques. But again, defending wise, first of all, Madrid don't press whatsoever. I thought they pressed a bit at the beginning. Afterwards, after like 30 minutes, done, no more pressing. And defensively, they just don't offer you anything. And in this current era, you cannot just go and rely on a moment of brilliance constantly, or have a team that you have basically 7 people defending and doing the job to compensate for those 3 other people. You need to defend and you need to attack as a unit, which Real Madrid do not do. Same thing attacking wise. Okay, even attacking wise, when they do get the ball, yes, they can do brilliant things individually, and in games like that City game, can bring you out of moments and showcase you moments of brilliance. But when they face a team that plays football, that respects football, nothing. In those 2 legs, okay, in fairness, Vinny does score today. They've reduced Madrid, their fantastic four, to a single goal. They isolated Madrid to a single goal, and realistically, that goal is a mistake on their part. It's not that we're outplayed. It's not that it was a good flick. No, it was just that they were completely outplayed by Arsenal. Point blank. And I think it goes again the midfield. Now people, I think, are beginning to realize just how impactful Toni Kroos was to this team, and how significant the chasm is that he's left now that he's gone. Because there is nobody able to link the defense to the attack, which was the same thing at PSG. Nobody could link the defense to the attack. And a lot of that has to do with that those attacking players, they don't come back, they don't defend. So it's really hard to go in and spring them. But yeah, I'm trying to go and think from, there's so many points you can analyze it from the Real Madrid perspective. Mbappe, I think Mbappe is the first person I want to go and address. And just what, as a PSG fan, I will go and say, even though I wanted Arsenal out more than around Real Madrid, it feels good first and foremost to get this, as I said before, the demons out. The demons out at this club and all their juju, all that stuff, no more. But also the sense that football's been respected, and the fact that Mbappe, for all this stuff, he snubbed PSG last year, everything that happens, we're starting something new, a new era, decides, no, I want to leave for Madrid. And in this first season, not only PSG matched what they did last year, so they're just as good in terms of Champions League as they were with them last year, and now have the potential of winning it. And they've gone. He's been eliminated earlier than he was last time with PSG. Now, I'm obviously not going to go and say that, if he been at PSG, that he would have been. No. I'm just saying that, hey, obviously he wants to make his career choices. That's up to him. You can't really fault him for that. But it goes and shows that, yes, okay, you can go to the biggest club in the world and so on and so forth and have all the limelight and etc., so on and so forth. But that football is about what you can do with the ball. And it doesn't really matter what the wedge is on the front. It's how you play on the pitch, what you can do with your feet. And once again, Mbappe, I thought, had a couple moments early on. Was obviously subbed off pretty early. The thing is, it was just a lackadaisical Real Madrid performance. Overall, the game as a whole wasn't all that great. Obviously, Arsenal didn't help with their extremely defensive approach to it. But for Madrid, definitely their best player was definitely Vinny. Vinny, unlike the last time, you could see him tempted dribbles, took his defender, took on Jurriën Timber, was getting fouled, obviously scored the goal, was lively. In comparison, once again, Mbappe, not really. And again, for me today, the worst of the front three was Rodrigo. Again, like the other game, at least Mbappe, again, you sort of still saw him. You sort of still saw him in the game. He had a couple moments. He got the ball, did some things, etc. So forth. The penalty, etc. So on and so forth, which we'll get on to, we'll touch on. But Rodrigo, again, I'm saying just like last game, just like at the Emirates, Kasper the friendly ghost. Kasper the friendly ghost, nowhere to be found. Rodrigo, when he came off, I was like, Rodrigo was playing. I'm being serious. He had a couple touches here and there, but apart from that, nothing. Zero, rien. And it's not like, okay, you can say, oh, I got clamped by. No, it's just that he didn't get on the ball. He wasn't getting touches, nothing. Rien du tout. Just a ghost of a performance. Bellingham in the midfield didn't really offer much. Just the midfield of Real Madrid, I mean, it just looks disjointed. It looks like they're not really sure what they're going to do. In fairness, you'll go and say that. How often have Tchouaméni, Bellingham, and Valverde played together as a three? Because Madrid had to tinker so much, and Tchouaméni's had to play at the back, and Valverde's had to compensate at right back, and Bellingham sometimes had played higher up, etc., so on and so forth. There's no structure to the team, and you think that you're in late April or mid-April, end of the season, you should know, okay, this is your position, this is how you structure everything. You're in this position, you're still having to basically do some handiwork and sort of piece things together as they come along. And I think a lot of the blame here has to go to Carlo Ancelotti, unfortunately. For all the respect that, I've got for Carlo, it's just, frankly, just not good enough whatsoever. The squad construction is not helped by the squad that he's been given, but even just the tactical choices that he decides to go and make. Maybe there's a pressure on top of him for him to constantly play Mbappe, Vinny, Rodrigo, and Bellingham. And in some respects, I would feel bad for him because it was the same thing with, a Poch at PSG as well as a Galtier. But I feel like also Carlo Ancelotti, one of, if not the greatest manager ever. We're certainly up there in that conversation. And I think he has the gravitas to go and say, no, I'm not going to go and play them. It doesn't suit the style of the team. And you've seen it every single time this season when you've only played either one of Mbappe or Vinny, and you pair them up with Rodrigo or Ibrahim or whoever else, they've looked perfectly good. But yeah, I thought, from Real Madrid, no, it's just, again, mediocre performance. They've lost now, twice in three games in a row now, if I'm not mistaken. The 2 games against Arsenal, they lost. They won over the weekend, but lost against Valencia. So in the last, 4 games, 3 losses, one squeaky win. I mean, the thing is, I think a lot of Real Madrid fans have now realized that, this season's not all that great. And it'll be interesting to see now how they go and they rebuild after this. I think the only one today, bar Vinny, who can hold his head high is 𝐔𝐍𝐶 Courtois. I thought once again, he's probably their best player. And if this guy's constantly just basically keeping you in games, fair enough, respect to him. He's doing his job, but I don't think that shines a pretty good light on you as a club overall. I think there's a lot of overhaul that needs to be done at the left back position, right back position, center backs. Yes, of course, Real Madrid have injuries, but again, if you're the best club in the world, you should have 3 players for each position that are all able to do a job, instead of having to play Tchouaméni and Valverde as center backs and right backs respectively. But yeah, now getting on to, I guess, more so the game itself and discussing, I guess, the big 2 things, the 2 penalties. Listen, even though on stream I was joking this, that, and the other, I wanted the juju and whatnot, I don't know what. I'm sorry, maybe for me, both the penalties, both the one that Asensio caused, for, who was it on? I think it was on Mikel Moreno, as well as the Declan Rice one. For those are Care Bear penalties, light penalties. The Asensio one, in fairness, what I would say though, even though obviously I want Real Madrid to win, the Mbappe one, I feel like if he gives that Asensio one, you almost sort of have to give that Mbappe, because it's not much more contact. I think that Asensio one is completely. On TNT, obviously, they didn't go and say that. There was, the Prem bias, English bias, so on and so forth. But I thought both of them were really silly penalties. Especially, obviously, the second penalty is influenced by the first one. But the first penalty, even Mikel Moreno, he sort of goes down, but just gets back up. And there's no Arsenal player protesting, nothing. The game continues for 90 seconds afterwards. And then he goes and makes the call. I just really do not see. I feel like Real Madrid low-key got wrapped. Obviously didn't amount to much because Bukayo Saka then went on to miss his penalty. But I mean, yeah, I just really don't get it. And obviously the second penalty, I was going and saying, yeah, if you give that one, and then to not to give that one, it just doesn't make sense. I thought 𝐔𝐶 really honestly today, I think sort of lost the just lost control of the game honestly today. I don't think it was a really great refereeing performances. There were some challenges I didn't even think he didn't call, and then some challenges that he did call that I felt weren't challenges, weren't fouls at all. I don't know, not the best performance from him. I know him quite well based on some of the league and stuff he's done. So yeah. But going further on Arsenal, I thought Arsenal looked fine. They look good. They executed their game plan perfectly. Here on FootMob, they've got Mikel Merino as the man of the match with 2 assists, which I don't think he was the man. I thought he was fine today, but I mean, especially the first assist is good. The second assist is more so he just springs on Martinelli to go through. But for me, I thought the man of the match once again who got the away from man of the match was Declan Rice. I thought he was excellent in midfield. I thought he bossed it around. He was impactful. He was going forwards. He was being impactful defensively, and is truly shown himself to be a top class midfielder. Now, I'm not gonna start going and saying like, you know, some people are, you know, getting crazy ideas and saying, oh, this guy's, you know, top 3 in the world. Yeah, God, tranquilo. Arsenal fans, you know, calm down. Stop with the delusion. No, but he was good today. Raya didn't really have much to do today. Saliba, I thought was excellent, even though he's at the cause for he's the one to blame for the goal. I think it was just, you know, a lapse of concentration. But again, I thought he defended Mbappe really, really well. There was a couple times where he was on one-on-one with him and just clamped him. Point blank simple, cramped him, didn't allow him to do anything. And yeah, just I thought got the better of him, left Vinny, all of them, the entire front four with basically scraps and crumbs, and then 𝙎𝙬𝙾. 𝐔𝐍𝑒 as well. Didn't really see him much, but didn't have much to do. But you know, did his job. If I look at duels won 3, duels lost 1. So yeah, another good performance by him, and he's filled in for Gabriel Magalhaes well enough. Again, also another good performance from 𝐿𝑎𝑠, even though I will go once again and say to Arsenal fans, you know, he was good, but like there was also a couple times I think he got caught out, or made a bad pass, or was sort of caught on the ball a bit. But he was good again today. And I think he's certainly a promising prospect for the future for Arsenal. And yeah, Martinelli. I thought Martinelli had I think for me, an underrated game. Obviously, I haven't seen what other people have said about it, but I thought like he was lively, really helping Arsenal, especially in that first half, to relieve them of pressure when Real Madrid were really sort of on it. Being able to go and break out, give the ball to him and have him just run down the line, even if it's not really to do much and concede a goal kick, just to relieve some of the pressure off of them. I thought he was really good at doing that, and obviously got his goal that he took really well. I guess going beyond that then, now looking ahead, sets up a pretty tasty set of semi-final. Arsenal versus PSG. PSG versus Arsenal, the 29th of April and the 6th of May. And oh boy, as a PSG fan, oh my goodness. And as having a deep Arsenal agenda, oh my goodness, this is probably one of the most hardest ties I've ever had in my life. And it's going to be really, really interesting to go and see how Arsenal, who are I think these are really two interesting matchups, from the sense that Arsenal are a very solid defensive team and a team that can hunker down, which is something I think they've gained in the last 2 seasons or so. And contrast that to PSG, who have the attacking flair of Barcola, Dembele, Doué, Kvara, etc., so on and so forth in the midfield as well. It's going to be a really, really, really interesting battle to go and see. And obviously we saw it at the beginning of the season, but I mean, realistic for both teams, I think they were maybe less Arsenal so, because I think they were still pretty good back then. But for PSG especially, PSG of October 1st when they played them, and the PSG of, you know, mid to late April are two completely different teams. And I guess you maybe go and say that maybe PSG going in better form. They're probably top 2, but now that certainly Arsenal going and knocking out Real Madrid certainly boosts their spirits, and it's gonna be an interesting tie. But I'm going to go and address all that in a future video. Maybe have people come on the channel, etc. and so forth, discuss it, and have the banter. But that's been my analysis of Real Madrid against Arsenal. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you to everybody that was on stream. It was a pleasure as always being able to stream it. Unfortunately, the Hatewatch wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be, but it was still an enjoyable night. And we saw some good football. And with that, remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.